In this video, we're going to check out the Lutron Caseta Wireless Lighting Kit. This will add the ability to turn this old light switch into a smart light switch, as well as add the ability to dim, and we're also going to check out their new fan control light switch. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Tech with Brett, where I help tech work for you. Thank you to Lutron for sending this to me to check out. So here in this kit, it comes with 2 dimmer switches, 2 remotes and pedestals, as well as the required smart bridge for the Lutron lighting system. And then you of course can download the free app with Android or iOS. Now this will be compatible with Apple HomeKit, Google Assistant, as well as Amazon Alexa. Now this will work with LED lights, incandescent lights, as well as halogen lights. So let me show you inside the kit a little bit more. So here we have the smart bridge, here we have the 2 dimmers, and then the Pico remotes with the pedestals. Now they also sent over the fan control system. So this will allow you to control your fan where you can change the fan speed or turn the fan on and off. And it also has a Pico remote as well. There is no system that can control your fan and light at the same time, but this will be pretty cool because you have that individual control. And then I also have a faceplate where I actually picked up one that has 2 in 1, as that's what I will be doing in the house today. So this is a 3-step process. First, we're going to connect the smart bridge, then we're going to install the dimmer and the fan control, and then we're going to pair and place the remotes. So at the end of this video, we should have the hallway on a dimmer switch and the fan to have its own switch so I can adjust the speed and control all of these via voice. Let's get to it. So here on the back of the smart bridge, we have a Ethernet port, a micro USB cable, as well as a plus button. And then it also comes with a Connect Smart Bridge package. So in here you get the power cable and then some installation tools, as well as a network cable to plug into your network. It also comes with a full set of instructions on everything you need to do. So first we're going to set up the smart bridge, and you can do this with the Android or iOS application. So first we're going to plug the Lutron smart bridge here into my router or into my network switch. And then I'm going to plug in the micro USB cable to give it power. We will need to keep this plugged in at all times for the Lutron light switches to work, but you can connect up to 74 different light switches to this one smart bridge. Then I will set up the bridge through the Lutron Caseta Wireless application. And then to complete setup, I press the button on the back of the smart bridge. To have the Lutron system adjust my lights based on sunrise and sunset, I did need to allow for it to detect my device location so that it could adjust based on where I live. Now that the bridge is set up, it is ready to add the light switches, so let's go get them installed. Now the first step to this process is to make sure that you turn off the power. Now I am not a certified electrician, so make sure you read the instructions fully, and if you feel uncomfortable at any time, make sure you call a certified electrician. So here we are going to replace these 2 different light switches. Now they were a part of 2 different circuits, so do make sure that you test both lights, that they are off before proceeding. Now every home's wiring will be a little bit different, so today I'll just be talking about how mine was installed. So here on the left, this is actually the hallway light switch, and it is a 3-way switch, meaning that there are multiple locations in which you can turn on the lights. I will be replacing this light switch with a Lutron dimmer switch and then putting a Pico remote at the end so that I have control from both locations. Over here on the right side, I already do have a smart switch, but this only allows me to turn on and off my fan and the light that is in it, but I'm going to replace it with the wireless smart fan speed switch so that I have more control of the fan speed without having to come up here and turn on and off the switch. These did come with the faceplate already installed, so you just need to get a screwdriver in there and carefully take off the faceplate, and then you are able to unscrew the front so that this is ready to be installed. At first, I wasn't actually sure I would be able to install this in a 3-way location, but in the instructions, there is a link to go and download the 3-way instruction manual so that you can get this set up. So on the left switch, this will be the location 1 of our 3-way switch. Now, because this is a 3-way switch, I need to tape off the wire that is connected to the different color of screw. So here you can see this is a black screw versus the brass. After removing the existing light switch with the closest pliers that I could find, I then removed the right side section so that it would be able to fit next to another Lutron switch. I'm then going to take the tagged wire and connect it to one of the black wires on the back of the dimmer switch. Next, I'm going to take the green wire and connect it to an existing ground wire that was already there. I'm then going to take the last wire on the back of the dimmer switch and connect it to the neutral wire and the other black wire that was on the existing switch. To finish up the three-way switch, we're going to head to location 2 where we're going to install the Pico remote. So here I'm going to remove the existing switch, double checking to make sure the power is off. And just like in location 1, I am going to tag the same wire that is connected to the different color screw. It's really important to know which one this is in case I ever want to replace these with the original three-way switch. I'm now going to take these 3 existing wires and cap them off together, making sure that the ground wire has its own cap. Now to install the Pico remote, I picked up this wall plate bracket. So this could be installed in a place like this where there is an empty gang box, or you can install this directly on the wall wherever you want to put it. Inside the box, this comes with everything you will need to install it on the wall on its own or to install it in a gang box. I'm then going to screw this into place by screwing in the top and the bottom screw. And so here I have the Pico remote where it comes on this pedestal, so I could keep it on there, but all I need to do is slide it right off and then I can slide it here onto the wall plate. To finish up location 2, I'm then going to make sure everything is aligned, tighten it down, add the wall plate adapter, and then snap on the wall plate. Next, let's head back to the main location where we're going to install the fan control system. So in the box, you do have the supplies that you will need to get this set up, and then you also have the full set of instructions that I used to do this. And then here is the fan control, where here you have an on-off speed change as well as a favorite button right on the front. Now for my system, I am using this on a single pole system, so for this I need to tag the load wire. There are instructions for a three-way on the fan control system as well. Once I have removed the existing switch, I'm then going to remove the side sections here on the left side so that it can properly sit next to the other dimmer switch in a 2-gang box. For the install, I'm then going to take the yellow wire and attach it to the load wire or the tagged wire. Then I'm going to take the white neutral wires and connect those together. Then the green wire is connected to the ground. I'm then going to take the hot line and screw it here onto the bottom of the fan control and make sure this is placed on in a clockwise motion as it won't fall off when you screw it on. And now that everything is wired correctly, I'm going to carefully place all of this back into the gang box so that I can add the wall plate. If I were to do this again, I would have actually put the Pico remote for the three-way switch here and then made the other section, the location 1, for the three-way so there was a little bit more room. But after a bit of work, I was able to successfully get them both placed properly. I then aligned them, making sure everything looked good. I then added the wall plate adapter and snapped on the 2-gang wall plate. If you are wondering what this third switch is for, that is for my smart blinds. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. And for the second dimmer switch here, I'm going to add it into the bathroom right off the hallway. I want better lighting control at night. And also this light switch is getting pretty old. It just doesn't turn on all the time. And so we're going to replace this today, and it is on a single pole system. Here I'm double checking to make sure the power is off. And then if you are ever removing a light switch, make sure that the paint has not gone over the top or the bottom so that you don't tear off a big piece of paint. The razor blade is a great tool for that. Now after removing this switch, you can see how damaged this was, so definitely worth it to replace this with a new smart dimmer switch. Now compared to the other installs, this is very simple. All we need to do is take the 2 wires that were connected to the old switch, connect them to the new dimmer switch, as well as you will need to connect the green cable to a ground cable in the wall. Once those are all connected, you're ready to put it all back into place. If you have mismatched light switches like this, I will leave a link to this wall plate in the description below. For the dimming locations, make sure that you are using light bulbs that are dimmable. Now that we have everything installed, let's go ahead and turn back on the power and finish getting them set up. Heading back to the Lutron application, I'm going to select Caseta in-wall dimmer switch. So I'm going to hold down the off button for 10 seconds until the lights start flashing. And then here it is asking where these lights are located. So this is the hallway and this is the hallway upstairs. Then we're going to select next. And then it is asking what type of light this is. So this is a ceiling light. Now that the device is added, I'm going to select add another so I can add the Pico remote. So the process is very similar. Here I'm going to select Pico remote. I'm going to hold down on the bottom button for 10 seconds. And then here I'm going to select the same. I'm going to select hallway and upstairs hallway. And then here it is asking what I want to control. I'm going to select lights. And now it has been added to control the upstairs hallway lights. After a few seconds, the Pico remote is now able to adjust the hallway lights. So pressing the top button will turn the lights all the way on. Pressing the bottom button will turn the lights completely off. And then here in the middle, I can quickly go up or down in the brightness levels, or I can actually go into the application and then I can set the lights to full brightness, or I can just set a specific brightness that I want them to be. Setting up the fan control will be the same. Here I just need to hold down on the bottom button for 10 seconds, select where I want them to be placed, and now they're ready to go. And then I can also add the fan control Pico remote the same way as well, just making sure I'm selecting the same room. Now each of these switches are fully functional from the main switch here, or the Pico remote, or my phone. Now let's add our smart assistants. So for Google Assistant, we're going to head into the Google Home application. Then we need to select the Home tab, and we're going to tap Add. Here we're going to tap Set up a device, and then have something already set up. And now here I'm going to search for the Lutron Caseta Wireless application. So I'm going to tap here and then log into the Lutron account I created at the beginning. I will then need to authorize Google Home to be able to access my lights. And now I'm able to go back into the Google Home application, and they should show up at the very bottom of the Home app, and then I can add them to the room I want them to be in. So tapping on the upstairs hallway lights, here I can select Add to Room at the bottom. Here I want these in my home, and then I want to add them to an existing room, which I already have set up, which is the hallway. I can now turn them on and off right here from the application, adjust the brightness, or control them via my Google Home devices. And now for Alexa, head into the Amazon Alexa application, and then head into the menu at the top right and go to Skills and Games. Here you will search for the Lutron Caséta skill. Once found, select Enable to Use, and then sign into your Lutron Caséta account, authorizing access. The app will then discover for new devices, and then we're going to the top and add a new group, and here we're going to add the hallway, and we will be able to select which devices we want in the hallway. So here we're going to select upstairs hallway lights, and then save, and now we have them added. And so from here I can turn them on and off quickly, or I can now control by voice. Let me show you how to get it set up with HomeKit. Now, if you've never set up a device before, you do need to have a base station, which can be an Apple TV 4th generation, a HomePod, or a new generation iPad that is always at home. You will also need to download the Lutron application and sign into your account first. Then we're going to head up here into the settings and select HomeKit and Siri. Then we're going to select where we want this device. So here I'm going to choose My Home. And then we're going to enter the setup code, which can be found on the bottom of the Lutron Smart Bridge, or they can be found on the instructions that came with the kit. Once the code is recognized, the devices will be added into your home, and then you can come in here and turn them on and off. You can also long press or haptic touch to be able to adjust the brightness. You can do this on the fan as well. And now you can also use Siri to adjust your lights. And last but certainly not least, you can add these to SmartThings as well. So after they've been set up, just come in here and select Add Device, and then you're going to scroll down and find the Lutron application, and then you're going to add the lights. And then here we're going to select Log into Lutron, sign into our account, and then authorize access. And then it will discover devices that are available to be added within SmartThings. And then here I select devices to add. And now I'm going to select the main hallway lights here and add them into my home. SmartThings will then prompt me to add them to a room. So I'm actually going to go through here and choose a new room. And so then I'm going to add it to the hallway. And now I have control of the device right from in here. I can turn it on and off, change the brightness. Now, one thing I do want to mention is for whatever reason, the fan control did not work within SmartThings. So after a few hours, I finally got everything put together. So over here, we have the hallway lights, which are on the dimmer switch. And then down there at the end, we have the Pico remote controlling that switch. And then next to it, we have the fan control. And there is a fan and a light, and we'll get to that in a minute. So first, let's talk about the hallway. So I can easily turn it on and off just by pushing the button. And you can see that the lights slowly dim and they slowly turn on, which I really like. And then you can also just use the dimmer options here, so I can slowly dim the lights. So I can hold it down to the point I want and let go. Now we also set this up with our Google Assistant as well as our Amazon Assistant, so let's try that out. Hey Google, set the hallway lights to 100%. And they brighten right up. Alexa, set the hallway to 10%. And there we go, and if I push the top, it's just going to brighten them all the way up. Now if I head down to the remote, I have all the same options. So I can turn off the lights, I can turn on the lights, I can control the brightness, and then if there's a certain brightness you want, you can actually just hold down this middle button for 6 seconds to set your favorite. All right, so the light turned on indicating it was set, so let's turn it full brightness. And then if I push the button in the middle, now it's gonna go to that dim setting that I really like. Now let's head over into the living room and check out the fan control. All right, so here we have the fan that we set this up with, and I will be controlling it with the Pico remote. All the controls will be the same over on the light switch, but here you do have that favorite option. So first off, this is made for just the fan, but you can use it with a light if you have one in your fan. So first, I'm gonna make sure that my light is on the fan, and then I'm going to set my fan to the highest speed. Now, when you do that, that's gonna give you the best experience possible. I found that as you had it lower, like if I had it on the medium setting, I wasn't able to control the fan speed at all. So first, on the remote, we can have the bottom button that will turn it off. So the light turns off and the fan completely turns off. If I push on, the light will turn on and the fan will turn on to full speed. Now, if I start to push the arrow down to change the speed, when I push it down once, that will turn off the light and it starts to slow down the fan. And then if I push it down again, it will slow it down a bit more. And you'll see over on the actual switch, there are 4 different settings. So you have a high, medium, low, and then off. So this is at the 3rd setting. And then if we push it down one more, it is going to go to its slow fan speed with the light off, but it's not completely off. And then if you push the button on the bottom, that will turn it off and the light will be off and the fan will completely slow down. So now let's try this with our assistants. Okay, Google, turn on the fan.
Okay, turn on the living room ceiling fan.
So there you go, it set the fan to full speed as well as it turned the light because that is the highest setting. Alexa, turn off the fan. And there it turned it off. Let's try medium. Alexa, set the fan to medium. So there it quickly turned on the light and then went down to the medium speed. So it went highest and then dropped down to medium. And now it is on the medium. So let's set the fan to 100%. So that's gonna turn on the light, set the fan to full speed, but now I wanna control just the fan instead of the light. I could just manually turn off the light and do that. So now if I change the fan speed down 1, and then when I try to adjust things, I run into all kinds of issues. Now let's jump back into the bathroom real quick. Here I can turn on the lights and you can see that they gradually increase. And then I have the option to adjust the dimming just by pressing the button. And then you can see that they gradually dim. And the only way to turn them off fully is to press the button on the bottom. Now there is an indicator of how bright that they are on the screen. And when the lights are completely off, you will see these tiny light indicators so that you can find the light switch when it is pitch black. The Pico remote pedestal is pretty solid. It allows for you to have the remote sitting anywhere, maybe on a nightstand, and it doesn't move around as it has a nice grip on the bottom. And then on the fan control, it did come with this on the back where I could attach it to the wall just with the adhesive on the back, or here I can just place it right on the pedestal to use. Now you do have some other pretty cool options in the application where you can set up timers or different scenes, so let's check that out. So here in the Lutron application, it shows my 3 rooms with my remotes and dimmers. I can tap on a light and quickly adjust full brightness or dimming them. I can hold down on a room and slide it up or down to adjust the order. And then here under scenes, I can set different types of scenes. So here I have like a bedtime routine where it will turn the lights to 10% brightness. And then you can also create a schedule for the scene. So here I set the evening to turn on every night at 8:30 so we know when it is time for bed. And then if you have an Android phone, you can also set up widgets, or you can set up the notification drawer where you can actually just pull this down and change your lights right here. And then here with the widget, I was able to quickly adjust the scene just by tapping on the screen. It just takes a second to enable. When I first saw the Lutron Caseta Wireless system, I was a little bit put off on how it looks because there are so many buttons on the front. But after using these, I'm really impressed with what they can do. I love having the ability to turn them on full brightness or turn them off quickly, or choosing what brightness setting I would like to have. Now on the faceplate, I do wish that the main dimmer switch did have the favorite button right on it. The Pico remote has that, but I wish it was added right to the main faceplate, as the fan control does have that as well. When using the dimmer switches, they have operated very well, whether I'm using them here on the control panel or using my different assistants or using the applications. Now, one of the things I will miss from my old switch is the ability to quickly walk past and swipe up to turn on and off the lights when I'm walking down the hall. Now, it will take me a little while to get used to having to press the button, but I thought about in the bathroom here that I could add a motion sensor and then have the lights just automatically turn on when I enter the room, or when I leave, then they would automatically turn off after a bit of time. And that's what's great about having smart home tech, is they can all work together like that. To add the Caseta system to my house, I did have to add that smart bridge. Now that can connect up to 74 different lights. So if you want this to be the main lighting system for your home, I think this is definitely an excellent way to go. Some of the benefits of having a bridge is it takes strain or the amount of devices that are on your Wi-Fi network and puts them on the bridge, and it's also very quick to respond as it's able to control all the devices at the same time. Now, one little thing that I really like about these is that when you turn these on via voice or whatever, they don't make a clicking noise. Other switches that I've used in the past, they make this pretty loud clicking noise that you could hear. Now, maybe you like to hear that, indicating that you know it turned on, but these are very silent. I really like that with only one smart switch and a Pico remote, I was able to swap out this three-way area so I can still have full access between both ends of the light. Now, moving on to the fan control smart switch, I really like that I have the option now to quickly adjust the speed without having to go over and pull the tassels. Now, one thing I don't like is that I have to have the fan on full speed to be able to have the light on. I wish that I could have the fan medium speed and then have control of the light, but as I showed before, it just isn't working with my fan, so the experience might be different. Now, I know this is meant to be only for a fan control, so maybe in the future I will add another switch here, but I would need to wire another line to control the fan and the light separately, but maybe your home will already have that. So overall, I've really enjoyed the Caseta wireless lighting system. There are just so many options that you have with this compared to other smart switches. With having the brightness controls right on the front, having those favorite options, the Pico remotes, all of that is so nice to be able to have compared to just having an expensive smart switch that just turns it on and off. So if you were looking to add some smart functionality to your lights, definitely check out the Caseta system. I will leave a link in the description to all of the products that I used today. If you have any questions about the Caseta wireless system, please let me know in the comments below. I also know that there's a ton of you out there that have great experience setting up these smart switches, so please let us know your experience as well. If you would like to see other ways to light your home with smart lights, please check out my playlist on the side. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.